Hello everyone, my name is Ash, and there's a new Dragon Age series coming, so let's get started. Polygon revealed the first news on the next comic series within the Dragon Age universe. Its name is Magekiller. The events revolve around a man named Marius, a former Tevinter slave who turned away from his masters, and his handler, Tessa, the estranged youngest daughter of a well-known Navaran line. You can read the actual article in the link below that goes to Polygon. But in this video, I'll be addressing everything in between the lines that Polygon hasn't explained. Magekiller is written by Greg Rucka, known for his many Marvel and DC comics like Wonder Woman, The Hikiteya, Batwoman, 52, and many more. He was once quoted by Kotaku for saying he'd cut a throat to get into the Mass Effect and Dragon Age universes. He got his wish, and hopefully no one died because of it, but perhaps the people in the comics themselves aren't as fortunate, as the cover features a blonde woman stabbed and bleeding by a sword wrapped in flowers. The cover itself seems to be straightforward. A woman who's thought to be a mage is on the floor bleeding, but not only from the visible sword through her back, either from running or betrayal, but also the blood that runs from her arm. But the curiosity lies in the way the cut is done, as I'm inclined to believe that the possibility that it was self-inflicted, as the symbol watermarked on this cover is for blood mages. It's also in the inner side of her arm. In any case, the other distinct detail is the fact that her entire left sleeve is missing from her armor, which reminds me of Hawke's mage armor from Dragon Age 2. The right arm is meant to be for holding the staff, while the left is intended for the execution of spells. The armor itself is well crafted and from a more expensive or even noble source, with red velvet, scales, and also decorative curves on her shoulder. Lastly, the flowers entangled around the sword that penetrates her torso has a lot of symbolic presence. One can be, perhaps, balance, where the sword, a symbol of death and destruction, is coupled with the flower or rose that represents peace, beauty, or grace, or purity since it is a white flower. Moving on, what is Magekiller truly about? The story tells of the two people, Marius and Tessa, working together on a dangerous job. Marius is a human originally raised in Tevinter as a slave, and was trained to kill mages without the use of magic. It's hinted in the interview that he uses talents related to the Templars, though not confirmed nor denied whether he uses lyrium or not. And if that's not convincing of his possible Templar-like abilities, well, the blonde woman on the cover has a sword running through her. Marius only knows how to kill well, so his personality, which I imagine may be either curt or disheveled, may conflict with the likes of his companion, or rather his elegant proprietor, Tessa. Tessa is the youngest daughter of the Forsythia clan in Navarra. If you don't know anything about the Forsythia family, they are not only one of the most well-known noble families, but also one of the few that have stayed politically neutral, not overstepping any toes for or against the Pendergast line that currently stagnates on the throne. While Tessa is known as estranged from her family, she did grow up with a considerable lineage of wealth, and her taking over Marius is a curious move for someone whose nation has little against mages, except for Tevinter. But tensions have been growing against the Vince, between Navarra and Tevinter, that even hit a hard spot during the events of Dragon Age Inquisition. So while she may not love her family, Tessa and Marius may share the same disfavor of Tevinter's magistocracy. In the first arc of the story, events will focus on Marius and Tessa getting to know each other. The story will also encompass the full plot of Inquisition, including the rise of the Venatori in the northern nations, as well as ending issue number 2 with the destruction of the Conclave at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. In other words, we're looking at year 41 for this arc, which means after the first 3 series of the Dragon Age comics. Major game characters from the universe will cameo in Magekiller, but Rucka wants to make sure that the events of Magekiller work with any player's own canon world. In my opinion, Marius Tellani is the best candidate for a cameo, not only because of her involvement in the events of Until We Sleep, but also of her underlying role in Tevinter politics and the Inquisition. I would suggest Fenris as well, since he is for sure tearing up the Vince in his own time, but with David Gator including Fenris in his own book, double dipping into Fenris seems a little bit too good to be true. Dragon Age Magekiller will be released in November of this year by Dark Horse Comics. Considering the inevitable November 7th or N7 day, that will most likely include Mass Effect Andromeda news, as well as another very distinct and highly anticipated game sucking up the entire game sphere November 10, I imagine Magekiller to release sometime in late November. That's all I have on Magekiller for the moment. Thank you for watching, hope this was informative. Don't forget to see the original article in all of its glory on Polygon, which is linked below. In any case, my name is Ash, take care, Fan Haral and Ansal.